Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new edition of the Daily Debate. In tonight's show, we're going to be taking a closer look on the National Alliance for Civil and Development Work, which was launched by President Sisi on March 13th. Now, this is really part of efforts for the government trying to alleviate the needs of the Egyptian citizen in terms and in times of inflation, in times of a lot of economic crises taking place, not just here locally, but also all over the world. And joining us here tonight in the studio to shed more light on this topic, we're joined by Dr. Walid Higazi, the international legal law expert. Dr. Higazi, thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thanks a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we start shedding light on the National Alliance, let's check out the main story making the news today, where a Cairo-brokered agreement on a ceasefire in Gaza Strip took effect today between the Islamic Jihad movement and the Israeli side. Let's check out this report and we'll be right back. A Cairo-brokered ceasefire between the Palestinian and Israeli sides in the Gaza Strip has come into effect on Sunday at 11:30 local time. The ceasefire agreement is set to end 3 days of renewed conflict between Israel and Islamic Jihad in the Gaza Strip, with Israeli airstrikes claiming the lives of 43 Palestinians, including 15 children and 4 women, and 311 were wounded. An official source said earlier that Egypt has intensified contacts with both sides in the enclave to contain the current escalation. Both Israel and the Islamic Jihad said that they had agreed to the Cairo-brokered ceasefire proposal. The deal will include Israeli concessions to alleviate the Gaza Strip's fuel shortage. Within this context, Israel said that it will ease the blockade and allow the passage of fuel trucks to the Strip's power station on Monday. Israel said on Monday that it was partially reopening crossings into Gaza for humanitarian needs and would fully open them if calm was maintained. The ceasefire plans come a day after President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said that Egypt is exerting great efforts alongside partners to restore stability and calm in the Gaza Strip, and is contacting the Palestinians and Israelis to ensure that things do not get out of control. Egypt also announced in a brief statement by the Foreign Ministry on Friday that it has intensified contact round the clock in an effort to contain the situation in Gaza, achieve calm, and protect lives and properties. Both the Palestinian and Israeli sides, as well as Arab and international communities, had welcomed the announced ceasefire between Palestinian Islamic Jihad movement and Israel, lauding Egypt's diplomatic key role during the past days. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas welcomed tremendous efforts made by Egypt that led to stopping the Israeli aggression against the Gaza Strip. Abbas also hailed President Sisi's ongoing stances that support the Palestinians. He noted that these efforts contribute to easing the tensions and relieving the suffering of the Palestinian people. For his part, Palestinian Prime Minister Mohammed Shtayyeh thanked Egypt for its efforts in mediating a ceasefire and ending the Israeli aggression against the Palestinian people in Gaza. Shtayyeh further noted that the UN Security Council is holding an emergency meeting on Palestine today, hoping that it results in providing international protection for the Palestinian people. Israel also thanked Egypt for its efforts in securing an end to the escalation. U.S. President Joe Biden thanked President Sisi and senior Egyptian officials for their central role in mediating the ceasefire between Israel and Gaza that ended 3 days of fighting, and expressed his support for investigating reports on civilian casualties. The White House also welcomed the announcement of the ceasefire. Meanwhile, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres welcomed the announcement of a ceasefire in Gaza, commending Egypt's efforts to help restore calm. The Russian Foreign Ministry welcomed on Monday the Egyptian mediation efforts to reach a ceasefire between the Israeli and Palestinian sides in the Gaza Strip. Jordan's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ayman al-Safadi, also praised Egypt's efforts to mediate the ceasefire in Gaza. This came as Arab Parliament Speaker Adel al-Assoumi hailed Egypt's efforts, led by President Sisi, to reach the ceasefire. He said that Egypt's efforts reflect the crucial Egyptian diplomacy and leading role to preserve the security and stability of the region. He added that these efforts also show how important the Palestinian cause is to Egypt, commending all Egyptian efforts in quest of a just solution for the decades-running Palestinian-Israeli conflict that guarantees the creation of an independent Palestinian state. Over the past year, Egypt has maintained diplomatic and security contacts with both the Israeli and Palestinian sides to consolidate the ceasefire and pave the way for the resumption of the Palestinian-Israeli peace talks. Egypt has also been carrying out the reconstruction work in the enclave, including building towns that are planned to accommodate hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, as President Sisi pledged $500 million to rebuild Gaza in May 2021.